Today we have an exciting story about Jessica, who travels from Italy to New York. Together we'll follow her journey, hear about the challenges she faces, and the new city she discovers. From the beautiful land of Italy to New York, Jessica's story is full of excitement and new beginnings. If you enjoy these stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and support us. We'll be with you to share many more stories. Chapter 1. The Beginning of a Dream in Italy. Jessica grew up in a small neighborhood in southern Milan in an artistic family. Her father was a prominent architect whose works could be seen in many modern buildings around the city, while her mother was a painter who spent hours in her studio creating colorful masterpieces. From a young age, Jessica was immersed in an environment full of art and architecture, which had a profound impact on her spirit. On holidays, when Jessica went with her family to galleries and museums in the city, she enjoyed viewing famous artworks alongside her parents. However, there was something in her heart that longed for more than her mother's paintings and her father's buildings. She dreamed of one day being in a place where art and architecture flowed not only in enclosed spaces, but also in the streets and urban environments. This dream gradually took shape. Jessica wanted to go to New York. She had always read about the city and the opportunities it offered to artists. New York for her represented artistic freedom and new challenges, a place where artists from all over the world could work together, exchange ideas, and display their art. But this decision was far from easy. At the time, Jessica's life in Milan was filled with the high costs of studying at the University of Art in Milan and daily living expenses. She spent hours in the university libraries, working hard on her artistic studies, while also striving to improve her English. English to her was a gateway that could connect her to the global world of art. To fund her trip to New York, Jessica worked not only in small galleries but also as an assistant to a local painter. Occasionally, she would even draw in cafes to earn some income. During this period, she would spend nights in her small apartment in Milan painting and taking joy in every new piece she created. Each painting was one step closer to her bigger dream. Chapter 2. The Journey to New York. Jessica had made up her mind to follow her dream, even if it meant leaving behind home, family, and friends. After months of research, saving money, and meticulous planning, she finally booked her flight to New York. The day she flew from Milan to New York, she felt a mix of excitement and fear. This was, for her, the beginning of an endless journey, a journey that would take her not only to a new city, but to a whole new world of art and opportunities. When she arrived at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York, she felt strange. It was her first time entering a city that seemed alive with energy, movement, and life. She couldn't fully describe the feelings flooding her heart. As she stepped out of the airport into the streets of New York, she realized that nothing in this city was ordinary. Everything was new. The buildings stretched up to the sky, buses and taxis sped past each other, and people rushed in every direction. At first, Jessica stayed in a small hotel in Manhattan. A small, simple room with a window that opened onto the busy streets of New York. Every night, she would sit in her room and listen to the sounds of the street below. Each night, she would tell herself, "I'm here. I'm in New York. Now, I need to make the most of this opportunity." Chapter 3. The First Challenges and Hard Days. Jessica didn't realize how difficult life in New York could be for a young artist from Europe. She was fluent in English, but she still faced challenges in communicating with people and fully understanding the American culture. On top Of that, the cost of living in New York was incredibly high, and Jessica had to work hard every day to make ends meet. At first, she had to work as a waitress in a small cafe. Long hours at the cafe left her exhausted, but she still woke up every morning with new hope and motivation. Despite the hard days, there was always one thing on her mind: painting. After work, when she was tired and sleepy, she would go outside and paint the city. One day, while painting on one of New York's famous streets, a woman approached her. This woman, named Mary, was a renowned artist. She was so impressed by Jessica's work that she asked her to display her paintings in one of New York's top galleries. This was the golden opportunity that Jessica had always dreamed of. She never imagined that such a prominent artist would pay attention to her work. Chapter 4. The First Success and the Big Exhibition. Jessica spent the next few months preparing for this exhibition. She paid more attention to her paintings than ever before. The paintings she created were not only pieces of art, but reflections of her deepest emotions, and now she wanted to share them with the world. The day of the exhibition, Jessica nervously entered the gallery. Many prominent artists and critics from around the world had gathered to attend the event. She had no idea what to expect. When her works were displayed, all eyes were on them. Art critics were amazed by the depth and complexity of her pieces. Among them was a famous critic named Jonathan, who wrote, "These paintings reflect deep human emotions, and Jessica's view of the world is one filled with sensitivity and creativity." After the exhibition, the requests to purchase Jessica's works came pouring in. Major galleries in New York wanted her to display her pieces, and gradually she became one of the most recognized artists in New York. Chapter 5. Merging Art and Architecture. After several successful years in the art world, Jessica decided to venture into architecture as well. She started a large project to design a cultural and artistic center in New York. This project combined visual arts with architecture, and its goal was to create a space for the exchange of art between artists from different disciplines. During this time, Jessica gained global fame, and her works were displayed worldwide. She was now recognized not only as an artist, but also as a pioneer in merging visual arts with architecture. Chapter 6. Facing New Challenges and Self-Discovery. Years passed, and Jessica had become one of the most well-known artists and architects in New York. However, now that she had achieved so much, she felt the need for a new challenge. Her days were filled with art and architecture, but at night she sat alone in her studios contemplating new challenges that would push her creativity and thinking further. One day, at one of New York's major gallery meetings, Jessica met a prominent architect named Alice. Alice was an experienced architect who had worked on massive projects around the world. She was so impressed by Jessica's works that she invited her to start a joint project. This proposal made Jessica think deeply, as she had recently become interested in combining visual arts with architecture, and this could be the start of the new era in her career. For several months, Jessica worked with Alice, and together, with a team of architects and artists, they began a massive project to design a cultural and artistic center in the heart of New York. This project was not only a huge challenge for Jessica, but also an opportunity to showcase the integration of visual arts with architecture. She spent long hours, day and night, collaborating with Alice and her team, exchanging ideas and designs. Over time, Jessica began to discover new aspects of herself. She realized that combining art and architecture wasn't the only thing she was skilled at. She had gained a deeper understanding of herself and the world around her. She learned that every design and painting she created wasn't just an artistic piece, it was a reflection of her emotions and personal experiences. Chapter 7. Global Success and Returning to Italy. Years passed, and Jessica had become a global artist and architect. Her works were displayed at prestigious exhibitions worldwide, and she was recognized as a leader in combining visual arts and architecture. But at the same time, she felt that something was missing. She remembered the days when she had come to New York with big dreams, and now, having achieved tremendous success, she still felt there was something incomplete in her heart. One day, after years of being away from home, Jessica decided to return to Italy. She felt that to complete her artistic journey, she needed to go back to where it all started. Milan wasn't just home. It reminded her of her childhood, the days spent walking through galleries and museums with her parents, while her dream of New York blossomed inside her. Jessica returned to Italy, not as an unknown artist, but as a famous and successful one. She held an exhibition of her works at one of Milan's top galleries. In this exhibition, she displayed new works she had created in New York and for the first time, she presented them in a familiar and peaceful setting. Returning to Italy was a journey of self-discovery for Jessica. She realized that New York had given her incredible opportunities, but now she felt that she needed to draw inspiration from where she came from in order to continue on her path. One evening, sitting in a small cafe in Milan, she watched the people and street art around her. It was then that she realized that art and architecture weren't just tools to connect with the world. They were a way to connect more deeply with herself and the world around her. Chapter 8. Artistic Legacy and Jessica's Future. After spending several years in Italy, visiting her architectural and artistic projects around the world, Jessica came to the conclusion that she needed to establish an art institution. She wanted to create a place where young artists could use it as an educational center to share their experiences with other artists and architects. This institution could be a place where the combination of visual arts and architecture could be a foundation for growth and creativity. Jessica established this institution in New York. She returned to the city where it all started. The institution quickly became one of the most prestigious artistic centers in the world. Young artists and architects from all over the world came to participate in workshops and training programs there. Jessica remembered the days when she sat in her small room in Milan, painting, dreaming of reaching a place where art and architecture could change her life. Now she wasn't just a global artist. She had become one of the mentors and inspirations for the next generation of artists. We're looking forward to sharing more exciting stories with you. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to follow our channel.